I welcome you in the session. Topic of this session is types of cost and benefits in agriculture project part 2. You are aware that there are a number of the cost and benefits which we observe in agriculture projects, and identification of this cost and benefit is very much required, and we have to categorize this cost and benefits in different categories like direct cost, indirect cost and benefit, then the tangible and intangible cost and benefits, there are secondary cost and benefits. So there are different category of the cost and benefits in agriculture project, and the awareness or the information or estimates of these cost and benefits is very much required in order to plan or identify the good agriculture project from the point of view of the individual farm or a farm or a farm, or as a nation as a whole. As economic analysis for financial analysis, we need to identify this cost and benefits which may occur in the agriculture project implementation. And this session basically is focused on the tangible benefits and costs which are occurred in the agriculture project. Then there are direct and indirect cost, and then we have the secondary and cost and benefits. And learning objective of this session is to identify the tangible benefits of agriculture projects. There are different type of agriculture projects, mainly increase in the production or improvement in the quality of the production. Then we will learn about the intangible benefits of the agriculture projects and their accounting methods for the economic analysis. Then we will differentiate between the direct and indirect cost and benefits, and then we will also recognize the secondary cost and benefits and their importance in project assessment. So let us start with the tangible benefits of the agriculture projects, and actually these tangible benefits arise either in the form of the increased agriculture production or increased output or its value. There is enhancement of value of the agriculture production or any type of production, that is also a kind of the tangible benefits. Or sometimes the tangible benefits is due to the by reducing the cost of the production, so that is also a kind of the tangible benefits. And tangible benefits means that we can easily measure the benefits in the monetary term, that is called as a tangible benefits. So there are different forms of tangible benefits in agriculture projects, like increase in production, quality improvement, change in time of sale, change in location of sale, change in products through the grading, processing, different type of post-harvest management activity, then cost reduction through the mechanizations, reduced transport costs, losses avoided, or other kind of tangible benefits are also there. So let us first understand the tangible benefit in the form of the increase in production, and this is the most common benefits. Actually it is the increase in the physical production. In case of the irrigation project, if we are planning, so we increase the agriculture production through the controlled water supply by providing the irrigation in the timely manner in the critical stage of crop production. And then the project is to provide the access to the credits. It also increase the agriculture production by helping in the purchasing of the inputs or resources, or it help in the making investment in the farm machinery. So it increase the productivity and production of the farm. So in this way we observe the increase in the production is the most common tangible benefits in agriculture production or agriculture projects, and it is easy to identify. And because most of the increase in the production goes to the market, so based on the marketable surplus, so we can easily identify the increase in the production. Actually, and the estimation of correct value of economic analysis may be a little bit difficult, because sometimes what type of the prices we have to include for valuing the tangible benefits for economic analysis. Sometimes there is a discussion about it should be the market price or should be the shadow price in terms of opportunity cost. So that type of discussion or decision we have to take for assessing the value of the tangible benefits. And then this produce consumed by the family members should also be included as the benefit for both the economic and financial analysis. Particularly in case of the agriculture, we found that and the lot of the farm produce is used as a consumption for the family purpose. They should also be part of the analysis that should be calculated in the agriculture production or increase in the agriculture production due to the project activity. And actually sometimes we have a lot of cash income generated on daily basis, like from the milk production activity by rearing the animals, or we have the vegetable production, so daily sale we have, so that amount maybe is less, but we have to include in the production due to agricultural production. Then second is the quality improvement. Most of the agriculture project quality improvement is observed, and actually it is also expected to improve the quality. Like if you have the loan for small dairy farmers, so the production as well as quality both will be increased by adopting the clean milk production practices, so quality also improve. Then if we have a project on organic farming, the quality of the produce will be increased. If we are adopting a project to improve the production management practices like integrated pest management, integrated nutrient management, or good agriculture produce, so quality of the produce increased or enhanced. So in that case actually we increase our return or net income from the project. And actually because if we improve the quality, our produce is accepted by the international market, the export market, and even in the domestic market we receive the premium prices if we have the good quality of the produce like organic produce or good agriculture practice produce. Change in the time of sale is another kind of tangible benefits, actually due to the inefficient marketing infrastructure or poor marketing infrastructure. We are not able to get the good prices for our produce. So if there is a project which improves the marketing infrastructure, so we will get the good prices in the market, higher prices in the market, like if we are able to create the cold storage facility, cold storage structure in the rural areas, so we can sell the produce at the higher prices in the off season. So that is a kind of temporal value of the produce, and so this benefit is arises to the time value of the produce. So if we sell at the later stage when the good price is there, for that actually we need to create the cold storage structure, or we need to create some marketing infrastructure. Then another kind of the tangible benefit we found in agriculture project is the change in the location of sale. There is a the production sector or the consumption sector, they are at two different distinct places. The production in the rural areas where the population is comparatively low, and this demand for this agriculture produce in the urban area where we have the large population which demand the, so there is a distance is there between the consumption center and the production sector. And if we develop the transport facility, road infrastructure, it creates the place utility. So there are different types of project which are being run in the country, like Bharatmala Pariyojana, which include development of the economic corridor or inter-corridor or feeder route, and there is a golden quadrilateral is also there. There is a project to develop the road between the north and south and east and west corridor. So actually if we provide the good infrastructure for the transportation of the agriculture produce from the production center to the consumption center, we will get the good prices. So it also creates a kind of the tangible benefit which we can measure. Then another tangible benefit we have is the change in the product form, maybe through the grading of the agriculture commodities, agriculture produce, or processing of the agriculture produce. Like most of the agriculture produce is consumed after some kind of the processing. Every produce, like some kind of in processing is required, and this actually the agro processing industry, they change the form of the agriculture product. So increase the storability of the product. They provide some value additions, and they also provide the employment opportunity by processing activity in the agriculture. Like if you have the tomato, if you make some kind of ketchup or sauce, it will increase the storability of the tomato. Also, it will also increase the value addition. Will get the more price from the market, and also it creates the employment opportunity in preparing the ketchup or sauce. So there are different types of projects we have in agriculture for food processing, like establishing the milling plant, the tomato processing plants, or mango juice or pulp preparation plants. So there are different types of processing activities. So it is basically the form utility. We change the form of the produce from raw to the processed product. So we get the more prices, or this more prices we can easily measure. So it is a kind of tangible benefit. Then this cost reduction through the mechanization is also kind of tangible benefits. Agriculture mechanization lead to the increase in the production and productivity, and better use of agriculture resources, improvement in the technology and cost reduction, because we can do the activity in a more efficient way with less labor cost, and it also lead to the commercialization of agriculture. So actually we can fetch good prices through the commercial production by producing the goods and services at more efficient way. So in a number of measures to introduce the adoption of agriculture machinery, such as the two-wheel thresher and tractors are there, and they are helping us to have cost reduction or in agriculture production. So we are getting the benefit, or which we can easily measure. So that's why we call them as a tangible benefit. Then we have another tangible benefit is the reduced transport cost. Actually, development of rural road improves the connectivity of the farm with the market. Actually, it helps in reducing the transport cost of the farm produce. So the benefit realized may be distributed among the farmer, the marketing agency, and the consumer. So here, if we reduce the transport cost, it will go to the farmers. Share will go to the farmers also. Share will go to the different market intermediaries, or it will also benefit the consumers. Then loss avoided is another tangible benefit from the agriculture project. Poor post harvest management is the cause of loss of farm produce to the extent of sometimes 20% in case of the food grain, and 25 to 35% in case of the fruits and vegetable. So if we are setting up the agriculture processing industries, and we will avoid these losses. So 20% in case of food grain we can say, or 25 to 35%. So this is, we can say, a kind of the tangible benefits if you are avoiding the loss also. So food processing facility, basically they are aimed at reducing the losses by creating the cold storage facilities or by creating the cold chain. So we can reduce the losses of the agriculture produce. That is a kind of tangible benefit. Then we have another kind of tangible benefits, like in agriculture project provide the tangible or direct benefits in other sector also, like transport project for agriculture development. There are various benefits like cost reduction, saving in time, reduction in accident, development activities in area newly accessible to the market. So these are kind of different and tangible benefits from the agriculture project. And then we move to the intangible benefits of agriculture projects. The difference between the tangible benefits and intangible benefits of agriculture project is that tangible benefits we can easily measure in terms of monetary benefits, but in case of intangible, its valuation is difficult. The valuation in terms of monetary terms is very difficult for intangible cost and benefits, and we have different types of the cost and benefit, like creation of new job opportunity to some agriculture projects. This is a kind of intangible benefits, and better health and reduced infant mortality as a result of more rural clinics. This is also a kind of intangible benefits. Then better nutrition, like in adoption of quality improved quality protein based. So that is a kind of project we implemented in the Bihar. So that is a kind of, if better nutrition in the child, so that is a kind of intangible benefit which we cannot measure easily. Then we have reduced incidence of waterborne diseases as a result of the improved rural water supply. Then we have national integrations in the area where some disturbance are there. We are able to increase the income of the tribals or poor peoples, so they will be more faithful to the country. So, or even this due to the income enhancement activity, we are able to increase our national defense. So that is also a kind of intangible benefit from the agriculture projects. And actually we should consider while assessing the the effectiveness or impact of the agriculture projects, we should consider this intangible benefit and cost for the selection of the project, for the selection of agriculture project. So we should carefully identify and quantify. Even though valuation is impossible, it is very difficult to value the intangible benefits. So for example, how many children will enroll in new schools, we don't know. So how to add, if you are creating a school, new school, so how many children will go, so we cannot measure easily, and particularly in terms of monetary term, it is very difficult. So how many homes will be benefit from a better system water supply, we can't easily monitor, measure in terms of monetary value. Then how many infant will be saved because of the more rural clinics, so very difficult. And the another type of the classification of cost and benefits is the direct and indirect cost and benefit. So direct cost and benefits are easily to identify, they can be easily identified because they are closely related to the execution or implementation and objective of the agriculture project. So we can easily identify them, and we can define the direct benefit as a money value of goods and services generated. We can say in case of education project, increase in the earning of individual participating in the projects, we can easily identify if a person is getting some education or entrepreneurial skill activities and he is benefiting, he started the production activity, we can easily measure. So that is a direct benefit from that training program. And in similar way, there are direct costs, like construction cost, operating or maintenance costs, we can easily identify them. And in example is the education projects, like teacher salary, cost of building or teaching aids, these are the costs we can easily or directly measure. So actually this direct cost and benefit, they are basically closed in the area where the project is being implemented. So this is confined to the area where the project is being implemented. And in case of indirect cost and benefit, they identify as those which are the byproduct or side effect of the project. So like indirect benefits we have in the irrigation project, like less soil erosion due to development of canal or creating of dams. We can say there will be less soil erosion, so we can easily identify. And indirect cost, like division of water from the production activities. This is the the purpose was of water to keep as for the production activity, but it is also going for consumption purpose or some other purpose. So this is, you can say, indirect cost. And then we have the secondary cost and benefit, creation of benefits and cost outside the project area, it is called as a secondary cost and benefit. And this value that arises outside the project but is a result of the project investment, that is we call the secondary cost and benefit. In economic analysis we should account this secondary cost and benefit, and in case of financial analysis which is done for for individual or for a firm, that is not important because it is outside their purview, so it is not considered in case of the financial analysis. And in case of this, again the secondary cost and benefit, accounting of this value added requires some analytical tools and devices, because it is cannot be measured easily, and sometimes we measure it at shadow price because we don't know exactly what should be the price, so sometimes we treat shadow price as the opportunity cost, or sometimes value is determined by a consumer's willingness to pay, and WTP by asking consumers if we provide these services from the projects, and we provide this, how much you will be able to pay. So that is a kind of the consumer's willingness to pay. Using this shadow prices reduce the difficulty of dealing with the secondary cost and benefit, and valuation problems are there as the goods and services which are not commonly traded in the competitive market. So that's why the valuation problem is there in case of secondary cost and benefit. And there are some ways to avoid the valuation problems, like we can treat a group of closely related project as a single unit or single project, like in case of the output of the irrigation project as the increased farm production. So since valuing irrigation water is very difficult, so a number of the production activities related to that irrigation water we can treat as a single activity, or development of road in inaccessible areas, like we are developing a new road in the inaccessible area where there was no road, accessibility was not there, and then we can treat that project as a land settlement project, because production from the activities of otherwise unemployed new settler should also be counted. So that's in this way, if a new road is there or new production activity started nearby that road, so employment generated in that area or production activity started in that area, that can be treated as a part of that the road project. So we can treat that complete project as a land settlement project. And there are some technological spillover or technological externalities also there in agriculture project, like adverse agroecological effect or side effect of the irrigation project, like they may reduce river flow, increase cost of degrading down the stream, and the cleaning of the water stream cost increase, or change in the river ecosystem. That is a kind of a technological spillover or technological externality. Development of new tube well may affect the performance of the existing tube well also. So that is a kind of technological externality, and significant technological externalities should be identified and valued, and they are treated as a direct cost, or cost of avoiding these effects could be included among the project cost. The another kind of the secondary cost and benefit is the multiplier effect, because actually when we create a new project, we create sometimes excess capacity, like creating a building. So even after the project duration is over, building will be there, and so that's why it gives the excess capacity, and the production after the project is over, that may be called as a multiplier effect. So investment lead to the additional increase in income through the successive round of investment. It is a kind of multiplier effect, and the multiplier effect is accounted by taking shadow prices as a opportunity cost. So in the opportunity cost of using excess capacity is the most is the cost of the raw material and labor involved, and the variable cost will enter the project account until existing excess capacity is used up. Then now we can sum up this session that the identification of cost and benefit component and their valuation is essential to determine which among the alternative project give acceptable returns. So in order to know which project is good or which can adopt for implementations, for that identification of cost and benefit is very much required, and we have different type of cost and benefit like tangible, intangible cost and benefit, direct and indirect cost and benefit is there, the secondary cost and benefit is there, and this cost has to be incorporated in the analysis of financial analysis as well as in the economic analysis, and some of the cost like the secondary cost and benefits, or some they should be also be valued and they should be included in the economic analysis of the project, so we can get the full or complete picture of the project benefit and cost in order to have a proper decision or correct decision. Thank you very much.